Six Nations 2021, the final game of the weekend. The Sunday game is Wales hosting Ireland. I've just watched the press conference with poor Wayne Pivac. Goodness me, every bloody question was about old Josh Adams and not that much actually about the upcoming game. But that's just the way it goes. Anyway, we'll see how that affects the squad. It's been a good chance for him to shuffle things around. Anyway, I'll go over the squads shortly. I will put the squads in the description if you guys want to check them out, and we'll go over the predictions, the recent history and whatnot. The recent history, though, if we can start with that, is pretty one-sided. Although, man, these guys have met so much, so often in recent years. 2 games in 2020, 3 games in 2019, obviously 2 Rugby World Cup games, 6 Nations games, and last year we had the Autumn Nations Cup as well. So 5 games in 2 years, and Ireland's won 4 in a row. The last Welsh win of those 5 games is the oldest of the 5. That was the Six Nations 2019, which is the last time they played in the Six Nations at Cardiff, and that was a Welsh win, which if you're a Welsh fan and things are all a bit doom and gloom. I've read some of the stuff on the Welsh social media, and there seems to be a fair bit of negativity. Hopefully they can kind of turn things around a bit and bring some smiles back to Welsh rugby fans. But yeah, it's not been the best in terms of the recent history between the sides if you're a Welsh fan. Whereas if you're Irish, the only thing that you may look at is the fact that 2013 is the last time Ireland won in the Six Nations at the Principality. So they did win in a Rugby World Cup warm-up game, but it's not quite the same. I mean, it's still a test match. The guys still want to win. But Peter O'Mahony even mentioned it in his press conference as well, that they haven't won in the Six Nations since 2013, so they know it's a pretty tough place to go. Although without a crowd, maybe it becomes a slightly easier one. We will see. In terms of the lineups for Wales, Wyn Jones, Ken Owens, and Thomas Francis is a pretty experienced front row. Good to have Ken Owens back, even if he is a bit of a senior statesman in the squad. And senior and experienced is clearly a theme with Wayne Pivac's side here. I think they said it's 874 caps, and it's one of the most capped Welsh starting sides in history, maybe the most. So, yeah, he's gone with experience. Adam Baird and Alun Jones. Alun Jones makes up a lot of those caps just on his own. That's your lock and duo. Dan Lydiate is an interesting call-up. I don't watch enough of the Pro 14, but people tell me he's in excellent form, and I had a look at his numbers. He's the number 1 tackler in terms of just sheer volume of tackles, and it's always been his thing, isn't it? Sheer work rate. The guy's a bloody monster in terms of just getting up off the ground and picking up another tackle. So, yeah, he's there on the blind side, Tipuric's open side, and Faletau is at number 8. So, yeah, Tipuric is a pretty dynamic ball carrier when he gets there, and he gets over the ball pretty well too. And Faletau with his hands and his runs seem to, like I've mentioned this numerous times, seems to be in some of the best form of his career, at least like Taulupe Faletau of old. Since he had all those injuries, he kind of seemed to go off the pace a bit, but now he's fully back on it. Thomas Williams gets the nod at 9, and that's still one that I don't think they're quite settled on. You've tried Reese Webb, tried Gareth Davies, he's on the bench. But Thomas Williams gets a crack here. Biggar is there at 10. I was kind of hoping to see Jared Evans, because when I was looking at the stats for Dan Lydiate in the Pro 14, I was just having a nosy. Because you guys know I don't watch enough of the Pro 14 to really make an educated comment, but just on the numbers alone, Jared Evans has got plenty of very pleasing numbers in the Pro 14. He seems to be having a pretty good season. Some, like his turnovers conceded was a bit high, but like a lot of other stats, he seems to be doing very well. So I hope he gets a crack before the Six Nations out. But as I mentioned, experience is the theme with Pivac's side here. So Biggar is the safe choice. Johnny Williams and George North is maybe a bit of a change from the midfield we've come to expect. Jonathan Davis has got an ankle injury, so that means George North comes into 13. Maybe that's an area for Ireland to target. There's still question marks about George North's defence at 13. It's widely regarded as the toughest place to defend on a rugby field. So we'll see how he goes. Amos is the man who maybe gets a bit of a chance with Josh Adams' indiscretion. So he comes into the starting lineup. Rees-Zammit is on the right wing, and Leigh Halfpenny is there at fullback. And Amos is a guy, I haven't seen him play for Wales for quite a while. But is he a bit underrated? I seem to remember him always being pretty good. But if I had to choose between him and Josh Adams, I would have probably gone with Josh Adams on rugby form. But in terms of being able to follow COVID protocols, maybe Amos by a country mile. The bench is D, Rhodri Jones, Brown, Rowlands, Navidi, Gareth Davies, Callum, Sheedy, and Nick Tompkins. So good to see Navidi back after a bloody long layoff for him as well. Probably a bit early to throw him back into the starting lineup, I would imagine, so it'll be good to see him kind of eased back into the side. Remember, Josh Adams is suspended, like I mentioned. Liam Williams is suspended, so from all that, Hallam Amos is the winner. I don't know how many chances he'll get to start, but he better take this one with open arms. No pressure. For Ireland, it's not exactly an inexperienced lineup either. Cian Healy, Rob Herring, and Andrew Porter is the front row, so Herring still gets the nod ahead of Kelleher. Maybe that's a bit of experience there, and Healy is certainly a very experienced guy with over 100 caps for Ireland. Porter will have a wee bit of pressure on him because Tadhg Furlong is back on the bench. I know he played a few, like maybe half a game for Leinster against Scarlet the other day. And when he's back fit and firing, you know that number 3 jersey is probably going to be his for all money. So, like Amos, Porter, if he wants to retain that jersey, could use a big game and put that Welsh scrum under a bit of pressure. Tadhg Beirne and James Ryan are you guys who start in the second row. I thought it might have been Henderson, but he's on the bench. Good thing about Tadhg Beirne is he adds that extra bit of value in terms of his work at the breakdown. And I wanted to see the actual numbers. The numbers for him in the Pro 14. He's another guy I looked up. I looked up him and Lydiate. Just how many turnovers has he won? I saw he was like, was he 5th or something on the list? 8 turnovers in the Pro 14 this season. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. He's not as high as like Marcel Coetzee. But then I looked at how many turnovers he had per game. 8 turnovers in 4 games. Now that's next level. That's very high. Double turnovers as, yes, very, very impressive. So Wales are going to have to be careful when that guy gets over the ball. And James Ryan's just got the work rate of a monster as well. So he's going to be everywhere carrying. Expect him to lead the carry counts and also the tackle counts because the guy just is like the Energizer Bunny. He just doesn't stop. Peter Romani's at 6. Josh van der Vlier's at 7. Speaking of guys with high work rates, he'll be putting Dan Biggar under a lot of pressure, but maybe that's another reason not to go with Jared Evans if you're a Welsh fan, because like Josh van der Vlier can just run all day and he will get up in your face and try to make you uncomfortable. O'Mahony's going to put the line out under pressure. That's his thing. And Stander is also prone to a pretty good turnover himself. Murray and Sexton is a pretty experienced 19 combo, like I mentioned. The Welsh side is experienced. Same with the Irish combo there. I know there's a bit of controversy in Irish fans as to who are the leading 9 and 10. A lot of people say Cooney. Some people say Cooney's great at club level, but hasn't quite ticked that box at international level yet. I like the fact that Billy Burns on the bench, and I hope he gets some proper minutes, because I think until we can get like Harry Byrne or someone else or Joey Carberry back, I would like to see a secondary guy get some minutes. And from what limited we've seen at Billy Burns at international level, I think maybe he's a good prospect there. He's not a super young man anymore, but he's still got a fair few years ahead of him. Henshaw and Ringrose is that experienced midfield, so I expect to see them maybe targeting George North in terms of his defensive positioning. Lowe and Earls are the wingers, and James Lowe is another guy who gets a bit of stick, especially since that Johnny May try, man. So bit of pressure on him, but he's a good player. He'll do well. And Hugo Keenan can probably expect a bit of high ball. Him and Leigh Halfpenny will need to be on form, because Halfpenny struggled a wee bit the last time, like in the Autumn Nations Cup. He struggled with a bit of the high ball. He wasn't able to take it really cleanly like we're used to seeing from him. Hugo Keenan is not the biggest guy, but he is pretty athletic. So yeah, both of them will have to be on song. The bench, Lama is another guy who struggles under the high ball a wee bit, but it's a trainable skill. Gibson-Park, Will Connors, good to see him in the lineup. Henderson, Furlong, Kilcoyne, and Kelleher, as I mentioned. So yeah, it is on this Sunday. It's at 3 o'clock. The bookies have got Ireland by 3 points over here in New Zealand, and the Rugby Forecast algorithm has also got Ireland by 3 points. The average score over those last 5 games was 21 15, so more than 3 points. So yeah, the bookies and the algorithm both having this one tighter than what we would expect historically. So yeah, should be an interesting one. It's on at 4 a.m. over here in New Zealand. 4 a.m. I'm getting up at 5:45 to watch England and Scotland tomorrow when I get up, my time. I'm debating 4 a.m. 4 a.m.'s a bit of a nasty time, but I guess it's doable. I do rate this in terms of the games this weekend. I like the look of this one because I don't know if it's going to be the most free-flowing or the most high-scoring, but you got a ton of experienced guys. You got a few guys who are really under pressure to take their chance while they get a start. You got both coaches who've come in for a bit of criticism, more Pivac than Farrell. But overall, this game should just be tight. And I do like a game which goes down to the 80th minute and you never know who's going to win it. So I'll see if I can go to bed early on Sunday night my time. Fortunately, Monday in New Zealand is a public holiday because this game's on Monday morning. So if there's a time to do it, maybe I should do it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you thought or what you think about this one. How do you think this one's going to go? Should I get up at 4 a.m. to watch it? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later. Remember, guys, if you do want to watch the Six Nations this weekend, the BBC iPlayer is streaming the games free. So lucky you if you guys are in the UK. If you're outside the UK and you want to get that content, you essentially need to use a VPN. So you can see here, I am connected to this server here in the UK via ExpressVPN. So if I try to access the content, I will be able to watch it even though I am outside of the zone. So yeah, if you guys are looking to stream, it's a pretty straightforward thing. Install the app, connect to the server, and yeah, good as gold. If you want to use the Irish service instead, you just switch your server to Ireland instead of the BBC and you go to the Virgin player. That one you do have to sign up for an account, but again, it's just email address, verify your email, and you're away. So it's yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description for ExpressVPN. That's the one that I've been using. It's a good one because you can give it a trial. It's 30-day money-back guarantee. So if it works, happy days. If it doesn't, just go for a refund. But yeah, you guys check it out. Enjoy the rugby, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.